kills some women when they're actually trying to find a relationship because of actually being too strong, not knowing when or how to let that guard down to find that relationship that could be right for them.
Mm-hmm. But I think that what happens is we are so independent, mm-hmm. and we are so strong in ourselves that we don't want you. We don't want to feel like we need you.
Yeah,
to help us do anything. When the reality is you can't do it all by yourself.
That's true.
And a woman can't teach herself how to be vulnerable to her husband, so to speak, if she's always got that mindset of, no, I don't want your help. I can do it by myself. Right. So yeah.
She has her own feminine and masculine energy.
Exactly.
That is good. And, you know, a lot of times, I mean, because like we look at social media a lot of times, and one thing that really bothers me is when I see a lot of women get on social media and they bash guys. Like a guy is not supposed to have feelings that he have. You know, like a guy never went through anything. You know what I'm saying? I heard a lady tell a 3-year-old boy, "Man up." I said, "How stupid are you?" If that's not an oxymoron, I don't know what it is.
It's sad, but that's how people are.
Mm-hmm.
And nowadays, our community, black men, point in particular is when they do feel emotion, they're scared to show it because they feel as though that's a sign of weakness.
Yeah.
When really it's not. It's really just showing that you are human.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just showing that you're human. But, like, for example, you asked about how being a child of an addict affected me. Mm-hmm. Well, all kind of ways. Abandonment issues, not feeling worthy, not feeling capable of being loved, or me even giving love, or let alone receive it.
Because my situation was different. My parents were in the home, but they were addicts. So you were removed, you were with your grandmother who probably wasn't. I seen them operate every day in life as addicts. Mm-hmm. So they would work all day. 5 o'clock, it's okay. Beers is opened up. You hear me? Drinking is being poured.
Damn.
Uncle Phil's coming over, they rolling up bloods. Everybody had a job. Everybody worked. Yeah. But everybody was on drugs. And everybody ended up sick. So, you know, being the child of the addict, and then here's how it affected me. Me in high school, I didn't do no drugs. I didn't do no drugs till my kids was like almost grown, actually. Because I felt like if I took one drink, since both of my parents were alcoholics, I thought I was going to be an alcoholic too. And I was like, I ain't even doing that. I'm not doing that. So yes, my parents, they sought treatment. I know all about Fairbanks and the kids programs and how you go when you get the snacks and you visit your parents. Because, I had to stay with my grandmother when my parents went to treatment. Or because my father was still an addict and my mom's in treatment. And my grandmother's like, oh, no, y'all come over here. Sometimes I stayed home. And I looked out for my sister while my dad kept us. Well, my mom tried to get treatment. My father, he never tried. My mother did. Treatment? I don't know, 7, 8 times.
Damn.
Yes, 30 days. Residential, good insurance, and we'll come out and go right back.
See, that's the thing though, when you are an addict, you can go to rehab and in and out for your family, but it's not until you actually are ready to make the change that any of that is going to help. So,
and personally, you have to be ready versus somebody sending you and telling you got to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you have to be ready. You can't do it for nobody but you.
So both of my parents, they ended up. I lost my father. He was on dialysis. You know, he was on. When I say addict, all in all, he wasn't a drinker. He ended up on crack. He was smoking. What? Definitely. And as we grew up, we didn't know what that was. We didn't know nothing about crack. We ended up moving to the hood, and they were like, your daddy trying to get on. Me and my sister like, what's get on? What that mean? Get on for what? You know what I mean? So we didn't know nothing about him until it was like growing out the house. Damn. Yeah. And even once they told him, your kidneys is going, kept pushing. You've been warned. You told that your stuff is blown and it's going. And you keep going and going. And yeah, he died. He was in hospice telling me, my doctor said I can drink. He said you can have a glass of wine, Daddy. He didn't mean, yeah, you know, no rock gut from Community Spirits. That
Step
ain't
it up,
what he
Daddy.
was
Damn,
talking
drip
about,
problems.
Daddy.
Rossi, why you on that wild
Come on
Irish?
now, your kid, hey.
Ah.
So when you say child of an addict, I identify with that. But at the same time, what were the benefits? I'm an entertainer now.
Right.
House stayed live, stayed lit. Everybody, there was anybody in the city was at our house chilling, kicking, because they having drinks. They're turned up, they partying. That's what everybody did in the 80s.
Right.
That's what everybody was on. They was in the Rick James era. So my parents was low key. They drinking, and my father crossed the line smoking. Everybody snorted powder. That wasn't nothing back then. So like I was always an entertainer. Come out here and dance for 5 cents. Y'all didn't never bust a move. Get the show me that new dance.
Your parents were functional addicts.
I mean,
Yes.
until they
If you
couldn't
go to work-
function anymore.
If you can go to work
If
and
it's
function, you are,
functional
yes.
addict.
Yeah, everybody had a job. Everybody had a career job.
See,
Not-
those roles, that wasn't the same in what I was brought up in.
Okay, so tell me
Mine
about your
wasn't-
side.
Wasn't functional.
If you want to talk about it, if you feel comfortable.
It took so many years for me to get to a point where I could talk about it.
Mhm.
That now, anytime I can talk about it, to even try to reach and help somebody else, I'm more than happy to. But mine was more I see you when I see you type. Even though I lived with my great grandmother, my mother was in and out. So I would see
So
her
she did with your great grandmother too.
when she needed to rest. That's where she came.
Okay.
But there would be weeks, months, days that would go by that I wouldn't see her. And you just never know what's going on. And then once I got older, there was time when I didn't talk to my mother for a year. Because she was just out there now. Thank God now she's clean and sober for 5 years now. So that's a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
But the things that happened back then are still quite vivid for me.
So your mom is still in your life. She's still living.
She's still living. She's still living. Yes. So, but the relationship that we have is not one of a mother-daughter relationship. Now, that's not to say that I don't love my mother, because I absolutely love her. And I think there's something about a child that you just always love your mother. I don't care
Your
if
origin.
I don't care if she just is doing the worst thing in the world. She's still your mother and you love her.
You supposed to.
Yes. So
Honor your mama and your days gonna be long. I tell my kids all the time, you honor me or die. It's in the Bible. I didn't make the shit up. The Lord will smite thee down.
Me and my mother, we just recently,
Smite.
me and my mother just recently, I can't even say reconciled. I was having mommy issues, you know what I'm saying, as an adult. And a lot of people couldn't understand. Like,
What are mommy issues?
Okay, let me
Let's
explain.
break that down for our
Let me
listeners.
explain. Okay, so my mother and my father got divorced when I was young. Okay, I didn't have daddy issues or anything. You know what I'm saying? Because my thing was my mother didn't try to keep us from my father. You know what I'm saying? He just didn't make the effort. So that's on you, my nigga. Okay, we move up here, and it's just us. I was a mama's boy. Whenever mama said I'm getting ready to go to the mall, I'm with her. Everywhere she went, I was there. You know what I mean? So we moved up here. I'm maybe 6th grade, 7th grade. She meets a guy. No, wait. This guy wasn't there for the situation. And me as a young dude, I always was able to see shit. I was always ahead of my time when it came to that type of stuff. And I was like, this dude ain't the dude. Because the type of kids we are, the guy should have came in and let us know what his intentions are. We're old enough. We deserve that respect. We're not toddlers. You know, my brother was, I think, a freshman in high school. I think I was in the 7th grade.
So y'all was men.
We were men. We were men.
And if you a man, then you know the other young men, even if they ain't a man, they feeling like they a man at that point. So
Yeah.
you just kind of gotta address it.
And he didn't come in like I felt the man should. You know, when you are trying to be a stepfather or whatever, you need to be a friend to those kids. You can't come in trying to be no parent or just move in. This nigga just like moved in. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what your mom allowed.
But wait.
Yeah,
Let me-
beef with her.
So my uncle comes over to the house and he tells me and my brother, hey, let me take y'all on a trip. We go ride and he said, hey, he gonna marry your mother. Now, I already knew this. I already called it out. My mother said in the kitchen one day, she said, hey, I got to talk to y'all. I said, that nigga asked you to marry him, didn't he? She turned around, her mouth was open wide as hell. Now, once they get married, this guy was bad for her in the relationship. The household just killed everything. You see what I'm saying? So, the relationship faded. You know, and where my issue was, I kept telling my mother, you let somebody come between us. Don't ever let somebody come between your kids. You see what I'm saying? That man, in your kids' sense, that I always tell these women, if your kids don't feel good around the situation, that ain't a situation you need to have your kids
But
in.
here's the thing, that's a hard issue because when you step outside of what the Bible says, it's when you run into all these problems. It's in the Bible, you're supposed to put your husband before all else, before everything, including your kids. But here's the thing, you're supposed to be doing that before you have kids.
Mm-hmm.
Your husband, if you follow the book,
Mm-hmm.
the blueprint,
Mm-hmm.
your husband's supposed to be the father of these kids. So then you don't have to entertain these conversations. That's kind of what you did, even though you was a child of an addict. Your great-grandmother raised you, so she gave you the blueprint of how things are supposed to be. You don't have to entertain that. It ain't supposed to be no sad niggas coming in trying to raise kids in high school. It's supposed to be y'all's father that your mother was married to. So everything, like I told my kids, once you don't do what the Bible says, it's nothing but problems. Nothing's gonna go right.
This is the thing. You can't expect you can't expect kids that are not grown to be adults. When kids are
But
still,
see, you have
when
to
kids
be
are still
able
in
to
the
trust
growing
your
stage,
mother. You have to be able
that's true.
Because
That's
let
true.
me tell you, do you know how many men didn't meet my kids? Didn't even know I had no damn kids.
But that's the way it's supposed to be.
You know,
That's the way it's supposed to be.
I got married for a year,
not
and when I
quality,
got
if
married,
it's not
my
quality.
kids was all grown by the time I got married. It was like either I'm gonna marry who y'all came from, or I'm just gonna go ahead and raise you up because it's hard to do a blended family. And so even then, when you got your kids are adults, it's in the Bible that you're supposed to put your husband. He's supposed to come before all else. You're supposed to forsake your mama for your husband.
What do you do?
But you're not supposed to have to be able to sort through this husband that you're dealing with. He's supposed to be the father of these kids. So of course he would want the best interest for these kids. When you run into problems, all those people dating out, they having kids out of wedlock. You got these grown kids by this nigga over here that ran off. This man coming in here, he decided he want to jump on and be a father. Hell, he 28, your kid's 18 and shit. You gonna let somebody 10 tell you what the fuck to do? Hell no. So I mean, of course this shit.
That's where the level of maturity comes into play. That's when the mother, if she has children and she's not with that father anymore, that's when she has to take on the responsibility of knowing who she's with.
Right.
Right.
Some men ain't good with your kids.
Right.
I don't
And
take
then
into the
that's-
room,
and that's-
crash him, and go on back home with your babies.
Uh-huh.
I'm just saying it is
But
what it is. You
but
don't
that's-
gotta disrespect your kids
But
and
when he's-
forsake them.
But to your point, what you're saying is, you just didn't, once that relationship was,
It wasn't healthy for anybody.
it wasn't healthy.
Yeah.
So what I hear you saying is, my mama didn't look out for us when she decided to marry
to get
him.
somebody. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So to that, I say that the woman or the mother has to be mindful of who she's bringing in connection with her children. Because if he didn't ask you about your children at first, or he's not having any kind of conversation about
Interaction
you,
or anything, come on.
If you
with your
hesitant in
children,
introducing him, period, you know it's a reason why. Address it.
So,
And then why does he have to meet him? If y'all just interacted and all he do is Netflix and chill, why he need to meet your kids? Come on Netflix and chill when they over their daddy house. You don't need to even know what my kids look like.
And that's
For
my
what?
whole thing, because once you get the
You're
whole
not adding
thing,
nothing
once
to
you
our
get
household.
everything twisted and out of order, you really need to deal with your kids first, because
There
you
you
had
go.
a man, and you and that man had kids, and like you referenced the Bible. Actually, once you get married, once that bond is broken, you technically, even if you find somebody else, you still committing adultery. Your first husband is your husband, regardless.
There you
So
go.
anything else that you introduce
It's
into
gonna
that
be a
situation
problem.
is
It's
going
not
to be
gonna
messed.
go.
So your
Yeah.
main priority, if you and the main dude or husband or father of the kids don't make it, your best bet is to stay single
until those kids
until
are
those
grown.
kids are grown.
My nigga,
And get
that's
it.
what I'll be saying
Now,
all the
here's
time.
The thing. Once the kids
That's
are
what I be
grown,
saying.
this is what black women have a problem with. Let go.
The kids.
Yeah. Okay, so now they're grown. Let go.
Well, that's
Don't get you a man.
that's
Don't
the
entertain
problem that a
yourself.
lot of
And
them
then
run
they
into.
have, sometimes they have.
Who runs into the women or
Mainly, and it's mainly, I see it a lot too with women who have one child and that child is a boy. And she tries to make that boy her
That's
man.
her husband.
Them
Her
is the
little
main
husband.
ones that just will not let go.
Call her
They
something.
won't let go.
So, how'd you get twins? Is that a special position you do?
There's a lot of people
I
have
mean,
twins. A lot of people have twins.
gotta,
like
because you've been married, you've been holding it down for 20 years, so I gotta get some tips.
So
I couldn't even go to
can't-
year in.
Is he on here?
He was doubling up.
Are you on here?
Hi,
Eric?
hubby.
Eric, when you doubling up that night, I think it was a double up.
No.
He's smiling,
He doubled up.
grinning. He
You're
looks
going.
happy. He looks
But what I
happy.
can tell you is that I know the night that we conceived those boys, he was a little angry.
He was
He was
he had a
angry
point to
that
prove.
Took
Ain't
it
nothing
out on
wrong.
the foot
Ooh, I used to pick a fight, baby. You got a point to prove. All that little shit you be giving, that ain't nothing. I just entertain you. But you got a cool personality. Sometimes you gotta down your man a little bit, be like, ah, your little shit.
Shout out to Glenn. Eric, good going, bro.
Airy.
So he and
His name is
it's two
Eric.
boys.
His name is Carlos, but we call him Airy.
Okay.
So
Can I call him
yeah,
Eric
so
too?
the boys identical.
So that's
What's going,
serious
bro?
business. Them was
Yeah.
the right chromosomes, and it's two of them. So he was
But
real
the
man.
funny thing about that is
What you do to
when
him?
I met my husband, I gave him the wrong number.
And he still found
He
you.
came back. I gave him the wrong number twice. So the third time he came back, I went ahead and gave him the wrong number.
Damn.
Let me see that drink. So
I
that
would've
leads
stopped.
into the
I
next
would've
topic.
stopped. Good going,
And I
Eric.
thought about that because you told me that you have been married 20 years.
21.
Good going.
So dating is very different now than it was versus 20 years ago. And I feel like everybody in this room is old enough to discuss what dating is like now versus 20 years ago. You know, we got Glide. I had a Glide on my phone. One of my friends, the Divas of Comedy, I ain't gonna say which one, was like, girl, I've been getting all kind of dates on Glide.
That's a new chat line. That's a new chat line right there.
I didn't know. I was
was
married, so I was in the dark. I added that shit to my phone.
You awake now.
I was in water.
Look at that thing.
When I tell you, that motherfucker was slapping.
I believe the interview for Child of an Addict is over at this point. If you'd like to stay connected, please look on my page and we'll send a link out from Ms. Brown into where you can connect back into it. Because I think this is going dirty after dark or something.
Yay! Lifestyle Life Party!
And discontinue right now, but I do want to thank you for tuning in. Any questions or concerns, please feel free to inbox me. Again, the book signing is July the 22nd, 4 to 6, 911 East 86th Street. Any other questions or
Newbie
concerns?
Radio will be in the house.
Yeah.
Supporting.
And so we are checking out now. Tania Carruthers, Child of an Addict. Thank you guys for your support. Good night.
All right, we're going to go ahead and keep the interview going.
Please, thank
Do you want to jump in the engineer chair? I think we
I
need to
will.
take a
I'm
break.
gonna jump in the
And then we can
engineer
go back live at
We'll be back, yeah.
9:15, and then we can go ahead and talk about
Yeah.
the topic. I'll go ahead and post on my page. What are the differences between dating 20 years ago versus now? Because you know, what was it like trying to get somebody before Snapchat? I don't even know. Yo Gotti said you supposed to FaceTime that coochie if it's cool. How do you do it? I did it, and mine was out of all, so it went to everybody in my friends list, and so now people deleted me. So I need some help with the, you know, they didn't have sexting. So I think everything is supposed to be read to start and then go backwards. So start at the bottom and work your way back up to the top, engineer guy.
Oh yeah, I got you. So we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back.
This is Newbie Radio.
.com.
See, we know how to do stuff. You trained us, remember?
Yes, I forgot.
So Tamia, do you know that there's like almost
Okay,
8
so what's up?
shows
Look,
on
look,
this
I
radio
got- look.
station?
I didn't know.
So Tamika Key has a show. You probably want to
What's
go on
that?
there. She can give you exposure
All I do is
because all
click
of
the input,
us
the
have
automated
our
in the.
own following.
Oh, if it don't
Okay.
start.
So like
click on
Tamika,
that.
she does R&B
Click the play
singing and
button.
she's an insurance agent. She does the weekend blend.
So you wanna ride with me?
Stephanie, she
We
entertains
get
her.
up,
That's
I
her.
feel shit
Okay, so
for
how
the
do
dough.
I
I can tell her that you're interested.
Oh, we still live.
Stephanie's show might not be a fit for you because